Hi, everybody. If you are returning, welcome back. If you are new, my name is Tiana Lynn Norman, and this is Young and Stepmom Reality. DJ Stiz on the beat, boy. So if you are new to Young and Stepmom, this is my journey on becoming a stepmom at a young age. You know, I met my husband when I was 20, going on 21, and I learned a lot of things. And when I was in college, I took a writing class, and I started writing a book on how to survive being young and dating and young and a stepmom. And that just flourished into something that I really felt passionate about, because I feel like there's not enough information out there, especially with younger people with being a stepmom. So I decided to make a channel, and it's been a lot of back and forths and quits and starting again, because I was very nervous, but I'm here and I'm here to stay. I have a lot more organization than I did before, and a lot more confidence about what I'm talking about than I did before. So I hope that you hit that subscribe button and you join my journey, which is full of story times, some tips and tricks I've learned, and just overall sense of community, of knowing that you are not alone in this experience. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. So today's story is about when my husband told me I can't be around his kids. Yeah, y'all heard me. He said you can't be around my kids. So, let's get into it, huh? So if you see me reading, if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my book, a journal that I keep my notes in, and help me stay on track. So we were dating for about a month and a half, 2 months. And I mean, we weren't officially in a relationship yet. We were dating. Now, I grew up, like I told you guys in the last video, I grew up, my dad was around different women, and I wasn't, I wasn't okay with just, hopping into relationships and stuff, just in people with kids. He was the first person I ever dated that had a kid, and so this was all new to me, because all I had seen was my father and how he dated several women with kids. So my vision on how this was going to go was completely not how it went at all. But we were dating, still in our little trial phase, and I would ask him, oh, where's your kids? And he'd be like, oh, they're with their mom. Or he'll call me, and I hear all his kids in the background, but he's kind of hiding and stuff like that, sitting off to the side so no one could see what he's looking at. And we used to oogle a lot. And so, or I'd fall asleep on the phone with him and stuff like that. So we were really getting to know each other, and we were getting a little bit closer. So I'm just okay, I feel a little weird. I haven't been invited over, when his kids aren't there. And I don't even think I had been to his house that much. So I had to just ask him, oh, how come, when do I get to meet your kids and stuff like that? And he's just I don't think you're gonna meet them anytime soon. And I'm like, that's so rude. I really thought that it was kind of rude, which now that I think about it, I would respect a man a lot. I respected it a lot more, because he wasn't just trying to throw me to his kids, and he just was being respectful to his kids and their feelings about not bringing me around. So, and technically I wasn't even his girlfriend yet, so he had every right to sit there and say, you can't come around my kids. And he didn't say it as brash, but that's how I took it at first. So he had took me out to dinner, and the conversation had came up, and I had asked, I think we was at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he was explaining, I just don't feel comfortable because I don't want to just add a woman into my kid's life, and I am fresh out of a marriage. And so, he explained to me, he was like, he's not trying to be rude. It's just, his kids, all his kids have ever seen was him and their mom. So he was explaining to me, I just would have, like, I really would respect it. Like, you know, if you understood that I'm not comfortable yet with bringing kids around somebody I'm talking to. He's like, I'm not comfortable yet with bringing my kids around someone I'm talking to yet. I just want to see where we go a little bit further. It's nothing personal, but, you know, like, you don't want to just bring your kids around someone and you don't know if you're going to be with them. And, you know, he made sure he said it politely, and he was like, you know, no offense, you know, because you're a good person. It's just, I need to make sure that I'm comfortable with whoever I'm bringing around my kids. And if I end up bringing somebody around my kids, it's going to be with somebody that I'm planning on being with for a very long time. I don't want to just jump and bring my kids around them. So after he explained that to me, and he's, you know, he got a little bit on a personal level with me, and he was just like, you know, I really respect you. I just, you know, hope you understand. So how could I not understand after that? Like, I really, like, took a second to, like, think it through, and I was just like, you know what, that's right, because I wouldn't want somebody, like, if I had a kid with somebody and then, like, we're divorced and then you just go and bring a random chick around, I would feel like that's a little disrespectful. So I could understand why he waited. I think he waited, like, we were I think, well, a deep 3 months in. And I know that's not a lot for some people, but I feel like it was the way we were feeling about each other. It was like, that was a decent amount of time. So we were 3 months in, and I think he was divorced for about 3 months on top of that. So I don't know if I got my timing right. Yes, he was divorced for like 3 months, and then we were another 3 months in before he actually had brought me around his kids. But I'm gonna look at my notes, y'all. I'm gonna look at my notes. So yeah, my views after he said it, like I explained, I just told him that, you know, I understand, you know, I wouldn't want just to have any random women around, and, you know, that I respect that, especially for a man in today's society, to just say, like, I'm not going to bring you around my kids until I figure out where we're going, instead of bringing the woman around the kids, and then she turns out to be a hot ghetto mess or very ignorant, and it's just like, and then doesn't even have respect for your kids. Like, you have to see how that person is as a human being. And because I was young, I didn't know right off the jump, like, exactly how that should go down. Because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, my dad had me around a whole bunch of different females, and he was very upset when he got a little bit exposed by me, because I'm thinking I'm talking to one female and I was talking to the other female, saying her name and saying the opposite woman's name, and, you know, that didn't go so well. So, you know, I can understand about taking your time and before you bring your kids around another woman, which is something that I kind of wish that my father did with me, because he was the one who was raising me. So I kind of felt like he should have done that. And so that's a whole nother story within itself. But, so basically, here comes the story of the story time. But I was at his house one day, and we're chilling and we're hanging out, and there's a knock on the door, and then there's more knocks on the door, and it's like the outside door. So he peeks out the window and he's like, oh. And I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, my kids are here. And I was like, shouldn't they be in school? He was like, yeah, hold on. So then he asked me to go to the back room. He asked me to go to the back room. So I go in the back room. I shut the door. I hear him open the door. And then I hear him open the second door. And he's like, hey. And they're like, Daddy! And so I hear them. And I'm like, okay. So I hear them start running in the house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if they come back here? And I hear his ex-wife talking. And she's like, oh, they woke up late and missed the bus, and so I gotta go. That was it. Gotta go. They missed the bus this morning, so they staying home. And she just left. So to me, I'm thinking, so, you know, those are his kids. That's his responsibility. Does this happen all the time? Like, am I going to just have to pop up and run in the back room all the time? Because I thought you had something worked out. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, you know. So then somebody's trying to open the door and I know it's not him. So I'm holding the room door shut as if there's something on the other side. So then I hear one of the kids go, Daddy, your room door's not opening. So then he's like, oh, it's okay. Your cousin's in there and the bed's in front of the door. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these poor little kids. And so he tells the kids to go in the other room, and I hear a tap on the door, and then he taps again. So I'm like, okay, that's gotta be him. So I crack the door open, and he comes in, and he's like, I think I had made noise or something, and one of his daughters was like, what's that? And then he was like, I told you, your cousin's in there helping me move some stuff around. I want you guys to go in this room so I can move it outside. So they go in the room like he says, and so like when he comes in and he's like, you made noise, and I was like, I didn't mean to. I mean, like, they were like pushing on the door, so then when you told him to go over there, I let it go, and it just, kind of cracked. So then he was like, okay, I'm sorry, but you gotta go. Like, and he didn't say it rudely. Like, I'm just saying that, like, just to sum it all up. He was just like, I'm gonna have to, figure out, like, what I'm giving them for lunch, and I gotta make sure they're straight. So, I'm still not ready to bring you around my kids. So I said, okay, that's no problem. I said, okay. So then I moseyed my little self on out. And my mom didn't live that far from him, so I just ended up walking home, and it was very nice outside. So don't be coming in the comments like, he made you walk home. And I just want to reiterate that, because you remember we were both on the bus. So when he picked me up for our dates, we either took the bus together or he had a family member's car. But it was rare when we had to take the bus to go out to eat. He always made sure he had somebody's car to, when you're divorced. And, sometimes people get more than what they want. People have to give more than what they want to give, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so that was basically how he told me I couldn't come around his kids. So now, some of the things I learned about this was that, one, respect somebody when they're like trying to tell you, like, I don't want to bring you around. Whether it's some female telling you about her children, or a man is telling you about their children, that's actually a really good thing. Like, instead of just jumping into another relationship and throwing your kids into the mix, it's really good to take your time. And that's something that I really valued that he did, because that made me feel like more of a person, that you valued me more of a person, to wait and take that time, and then really feel encouraged enough that saying, I really know that you'll be good around my kids. Because, this is TMI, but, me and my husband talk. We have a very open communication about things. And he told me that there was 2 other females he had dealt with. He was like, you ain't coming around my kids. You can't even come around me no more. So I really respected that. The other thing I learned is that be patient in the beginning stages, because we were still dating and we weren't official. So for the fact that, it really wasn't my concern or my place to even ask if she does this often. And I never asked him, but I had thought it in my head, and I'm just like, that's I would never put myself in that predicament to like be told mind my business, because we're not even dating. So that's what I would say. I would say, 1, respect the other person's opinion about whether or not you could come around their kids. 2, be patient and when you're still dating, and know your boundaries, because you're still in the dating phase. So after dating phases, we'll get to that point, but boundaries get very thin to me. So I just want to say thank you. And if you have any other questions or any comments below, please be positive and I will answer them. Or, if you are on the negative side, I'll just delete. But I appreciate you guys for coming to this channel and, watching my video. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.